Okay, and I think we are good now. So welcome everyone again to the Microsoft Excel Toronto Meetup group. We are in October and October 9th of 2024. This month we happen to have two sessions. So we usually do one session per month, but this month we are having two sessions. I will tell you the next event coming soon. Welcome everyone to, especially the ones who are new to our meetup group. We have seen our group growing and new people joining. I know that the AI topic is always a hot topic these days, and people are curious to learn about how to take advantage of this new technology and make themselves more productive. So that's what we are learning today with our guest, David Fortin, that I will present in just introduce in just a couple of minutes. And then it's up to him to fill in the gaps today and give us what he has to share with us today. So just for those of you, especially those of you who are new, the way it works is this session is recorded. It will be uploaded to YouTube a couple of days. In a couple of days, you will receive an email from the meetup organizers, myself and Grania, with the link for the recording and also links for any possible files that the presenter may share with us and other information. Okay, during the session, feel free to raise your hand or to type your questions and comments in the chat. And when it's a good time to interrupt the presenter, to interrupt David, we will get to your questions and we will pass along your questions. Okay, what else? If you have trouble with the chat, sometimes it happens, just try to log out and come back in again. Usually it helps with Teams. Teams sometimes is a little bit picky, but hopefully you will be able to join as well. And as mentioned, our session will be recorded and will be uploaded to our YouTube channel. So if you look for MS Excel Toronto Meetup, you will on YouTube, you will be able to access all the recordings from previous sessions. And on the Meetup group page, if you go to a section that says discussions, it has one of the last messages there explains where you can access all the communications that we sent after the sessions that contain the link to the files. So if you are interested in watching a previous session and following along with the exercise files, you can find that information there. And for those of you who may not know us, my name is Celia Alves. I am the founder of the Meetup group. It was founded back in 2019. And I am a Microsoft Excel MVP since 2020. I've been producing content for the community. I've been leading this meetup group and making this space available for both people who want to share their expertise and people who want to learn from them. So here is always a great time to connect with people that join the session from different parts of the world. And I've been working as a business analyst lately. Before that, I was working as an Excel consultant for a couple of years. Grania Duggan, she's been with us since day one. Hi, Grania. She's been
Hi, Celia.
she's been with us since session one, and at some point she started to help us with some of the tasks, like for example, making the timestamps on the YouTube videos that become very handy and useful when we need to go back to a session and quickly find what we need in that 1 hour recording. So thank you, Grania, for joining us.
Thanks for having me. And thanks, Celia, for starting the group, because it's been invaluable to those of us who stuck around for 5 years, five?
Yeah, I
5
cannot
years.
believe 5 years already. And yeah.
I'm sure that the people who are joining less than 5 years are starting to find it just as great a source as I have.
Yes. Thank you so much. Okay, so what's up next? Our next session will be this month on October 30th. and it will be with Patrick O'Brien from Ireland, and he will be talking about can you trust your spreadsheets? So um, the dangers that we face when we are working with Excel, errors, and where the errors might lead us, or the what they can cause to an organization, and how to avoid them as much as possible. I believe this will be a very interesting and fundamental session to attend. So everyone is invited. And the page is already up on the Meetup website. Feel free to register if you haven't yet. And we have great news. So Sheetcast, that some of you may have seen around in if you have attended any Excel events, because they have been sponsoring multiple Excel events around the world. They just become our sponsors as well. Some of you may not know that running this meetup group or running any meetup group on the Meetup platform has administrative costs, and I've been covering for those costs since the group was founded. But lately, Meetup announced a raise on their fees, almost to the double. And I thought, well, all the work that we do here, Grania, myself, and also all the presenters that come, everything is offered for free, is volunteering work. And I thought that that raise on the fee was a little bit too much. And I thought, well, maybe I should look for sponsors. And Sheetcast was the first organization that came to mind, because I have connected with them in multiple occasions. And they immediately said yes. So Sheetcast is going forward our major sponsor of the Excel Toronto Meetup group. We signed up an agreement for 3 years, and you may be hearing from them. Of course, we will feature them every session, and we will talk more about their product going forward, just in general, so that you know what Sheetcast is. It is an application that you can use from within Excel to transform your spreadsheets into web applications. So if you have a scenario where you would like your spreadsheet to be available online and have control of the content of that spreadsheet, Sheetcast may be an option for that. We will talk about how it works going forward. Every now and then we will give you a little bit of insights. So thank you to Sheetcast. I'm not sure if anyone from Sheetcast is in. I know that some people were planning to attend. I haven't had the chance to check the chat yet. So if you are here, thank you for your support. And okay, we have Women in Excel. It is a LinkedIn group founded by Grania, and along with Catherine Mondragon and someone else, I believe. This group is a group dedicated only to women, as the name says, and it's a space where women can share knowledge and connect between each other, support each other. There's the opportunity to present without being on a major stage and be recording like it happens here. So there's multiple activities going on that can be of help for every woman looking to get into the Excel business industry in any capacity, as a speaker, as a trainer, as a consultant. So we invite you to join the group. And Grania, have you put in the link there in the chat?
No, I'll do that now.
Yes, and the Sheetcast as well.
I was busy listening to what you said, sorry.
And I hope I represented the group well. Yes, and have you put Sheetcast's link as well in case people want to check them out? Great, thank you.
Oh, and by the way, Women in Excel was started by Catherine Mondragon, who is a Sheetcast person. So she has been a big influence. Yes. She actually designed that logo. She does a lot of stuff for us. So Women in Excel get the benefit of some of Sheetcast stuff just because of Catherine being there.
Because Catherine also belongs to Sheetcast team.
But
yes.
Ladies, please join us. We have meetings now once a month. The next one is coming up towards the end of October. I can't remember the exact date. I'm not sure it's been announced, the exact date. But it's very low key and they are not recorded. So it's so that people can feel very open, saying whatever they think. And it's for people of all experience levels, not just experts. So if you're just starting your journey, this is a good spot to get general information about events that are happening and the like. Anyway, that's it.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. So what else? We share news about Excel events here and anything that is worthwhile mentioning new in the Excel industry. We try to cover it here. Or sometimes we don't mention it on the session, but we send information on our email that goes out after the session. So you may see information there about different resources. And the next big event about Excel that is happening is the Active Cell that combines master classes and conferences with another day, a final day where the Financial Modeling World Cup finals will happen live in Las Vegas. So if you are interested in joining, it will be a great opportunity to connect with the business industry leaders, to learn from them, and to have fun and watch the finals live on the last day. And so there's if you are interested in participating, there's a discount coupon there for 10% off. Just grab it and have fun. I hope you can make it. Okay, and you will get these slides. There's many other resources. There's the newsletter, my newsletter that you can subscribe. Excel books refer to you, the YouTube channels, both mine and the meetups, and my blog and so on. So we send out this information along with the materials on the email. You can then check them out. And finally, I have a training course about how to automate recurring Excel procedures. If you have something going on every month that is taking you too much time to perform manually, always the same tasks in Excel, maybe you are interested in learning how to automate that process. That's what I teach. Feel free to check that out. There's a coupon code as well for 20% off there. And enough talking, because we are here to learn from David Fortin today. David, thank you so much for joining us today. I'm going to read David's bio because I don't want to miss anything. And then David can fill in the blanks for us. So David Fortin is a chartered professional accountant and became an MVP, Microsoft MVP just recently in 2024. Congratulations, David. Well deserved for all the content that he's been putting out and helping people not only learning Excel, but he has been focusing a lot on Copilot. He runs Piggy Bank Accountant, a YouTube channel where he shares practical insights on Excel and Microsoft Copilot. With a background in financial planning and analysis for SaaS startup, David was instrumental in raising 30 million in venture capital funding and then played a key role in the company's successful exit, valued at hundreds of millions. Known for his dynamic and energetic personality, David is all about helping people, which he does through his online courses on Excel and Copilot. You can check them out at courses.davidpba.com. This information will go out to you as well on the email after the session. What sets David apart is his ability to make learning fun and engaging, bringing a unique energy to his videos that resonate with his audience. So today we are going to learn from David how to take advantage of AI in general and Copilot in particular in Excel, and maybe something else, but we will leave the surprise. So David, thank you so much again for accepting the invitation, for being with us, for taking the time to prepare the session for us. Everyone who is watching us, preparing sessions to present is a lot of work, involves a lot of work and a lot of time and dedication. So we are grateful for our guest presenters, and today to David Fortin in particular. Thank you again, David. And the floor is yours. So just
All
take it.
right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Celia. Thank you for having me. Hello, Grania. It's nice to have you. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for showing up. I'm gonna share my screen right now, and we're gonna get started. And don't blink because this is a packed seance. I don't. Do you see my screen?
Yes.
All right, that's good. Okay, I see myself here and I see Celia on my left screen. So let's get going. Today, we're going to talk about the use cases of AI and Microsoft Copilot in Excel. So this is the Copilot symbol. I'm sure you have seen it by now. And feel free to ask any question in the chat. I will take them as we go. Maybe I'll wait a little bit, but I shall see your question in the chat and I will try to answer them the best I can. So here I am. This is my face here. So my logo is actually to learn Excel the modern way. And why I'm saying that is that I want to make Excel fun, which is not always the case, right? And basically, I'm a chartered professional accountant. Celia said it earlier, and this is my brand, the Piggy Bank Accountant. Don't ask me where it comes from. There's a long history behind that. I'll talk about that a little bit later. I'm very active on YouTube, very active on LinkedIn. These are most of my platforms. So why are we here? Because AI is on everyone's lips and OpenAI just raised 6.6 billion, which is the largest venture capital round ever, right? And this is the symbol of ChatGPT. Let me know in the chat if you can actually, if you actually already use ChatGPT or not. It will help me shape up my presentation and adapt the level of my presentation. I know AI is brand new for a lot of people and there's a lot of new jargon, so I'll try to explain it the best. So why are we here? Part two, because OpenAI, the company behind ChatGPT, is now a company valued at 157 billion. So this is a huge company. And guess what? Microsoft invested more than 13 billion in OpenAI. So you know, Microsoft is the company behind Microsoft Copilot, and they invested in OpenAI to do a partnership. So AI is here to stay and Copilot is here to stay. Do you remember this little dude here? Well, he stayed for like what, a few years, 6 years, and so it's not the case of Copilot. I swear they didn't invest more than 15 billion in Clippy or Clipit. So Joey never used ChatGPT yet. Don't worry. Once you're going to be done with this session, you are going to know a little bit more about it and will be able to use it in your day-to-day and not only in Excel. All right, so let's get going. So who am I? Thank you, Celia, for the warm introduction, but I will add a little bit to it just so you guys get to know me a little bit better. I'm based in Quebec City, Canada, so I speak French. This is my main language, but as you can tell, my English is pretty good. I'm kidding. All right, so here is me face and my story. I started as a young professional accountant. I'm still young, of course, chartered professional accountant, where I was working in the big four accounting firms, having clients in construction field and also in the financial services field. So I was doing very long hours, taking the plane, clocking 14 hours in my Excel timesheet, a spreadsheet, of course. So all of this to say that I had a lot of experience with Excel, even though I'm kind of young. So yeah, this is my experience. Then after working 3 years into the accounting firm, I was like, okay, it's time for a new challenge, a new life. I switched my gear a little bit more corporate to a little bit like bandana in the field, working for a video game company in the financial planning analysis, which I was doing more budgeting and also, making sure to manage the cost of a video game and making sure we have enough headcount to deliver or less headcount than planned, etc. So really managing the budget. It was a really cool journey. I stayed there for 2 years and then I switched over to Polka, a software as a service company here in Quebec, where my first project was to raise 30 millions in Series B with my team. We see Felix here on the screen, my ex-boss, which helped me to go through this project because yes, it was kind of a journey, you know? And then a few years later, 3 years later, actually, we exit the company. We sold the company to venture capitalists, sorry, to another company actually for more than 200 million Canadian dollars. And all of this was done in Excel and PowerPoint. Yes, all of this was with the good old spreadsheets. And even us, we were using Sheets and Excel. You know, it was a startup world, you know. So here I am. So now, after selling this company, I thought it was time for me to do something else, actually training people. And how I do it is by my YouTube channel. So you can see here a few of my videos. Most of them are on Copilot. Some of them are on Microsoft Excel. And my latest video, actually not my latest, but this video I released 200 days ago, has more than 32,000 views and has been watched more than 4,000 hours. So I'm really proud of this one. Go have a look if you want. It's a 42 minutes uh, tutorial on Microsoft Copilot. So I'm really proud of my channel and I go by the Piggy Bank Accountant. Once again, you have QR codes all over the place. They all lead to one place. I dare you to scan it with your cell phone. So lately, I've been nominated a Microsoft MVP. So I'm really proud of that as well. And of course, yeah, I'm really, oh, thank you, Grania, for the link in the chat to my YouTube channel. So feel free to subscribe, releasing a video almost every week. So putting a lot of time in my YouTube just to help people. And here we go. So let's get started, guys. Enough talking of me, enough presentation and all of that. This is what's waiting for you in this agenda. So you add the little description on the website. So I went with the description and made the content. Um, so first, we're going to talk a little bit about Copilot and AI. I'm going to compare Copilot, which is a symbol on the left, to a little bit of ChatGPT, because this is one question I get the most often. And we have some people here that told me in the chat, no, I never used ChatGPT. So it is relatively new for a lot of people. So I'm going to talk briefly about that. I'm going to show you a little bit just how to prompt. And you'll be like, what is a prompt? A prompt is just a way that you ask a question to the chatbot, the AI chatbot. I'm going to go very briefly as well on how to do so. It's going to be very brief, I swear. Then we're going to go into Copilot in Excel. And you know, to have the button in Copilot in Excel, you need to pay the Pro version. But I love to show you how I use it even though I don't use the Pro version. You don't need the Pro version. That's what I mean here. But there are some perks to have the Pro version, and that's what I want to show you today. Then we're going to talk about use cases of how I use Copilot in Excel, the Pro version, and then in the description it was shown that I will show you an extra tip that is not Excel related, but bear with me. I swear it is really a nice tip. It's how to create a PowerPoint with Copilot, and it is the free version of PowerPoint, of Copilot, sorry. So you'll see all of that is going to hopefully blow your mind. All right, and then we're gonna have a quick Q&A. Feel free to ask any question in the chat. All right, let's get going. So this is a question I get very, very often. What is ChatGPT? What is Copilot? What's the difference? Is the same thing because Microsoft invested in OpenAI, which is the company versus behind ChatGPT. So let me try to put the difference out there and make sure it's clear for you whether you're deciding right now, hey, I have a business or my employer, he wants to pick ChatGPT or Copilot and he doesn't know which one. So I'll go really quick here about that. First thing first, the company behind the tools are different. For Copilot, it is Microsoft, a very little known company, and for ChatGPT, it is OpenAI. And it is founded, this is a fun fact actually, it is co-founded, I should say, by Elon Musk. So Elon Musk is everywhere. He's in Twitter, he's in SpaceX. I mean, this guy is everywhere, PayPal, etc. But just a fun fact, he co-founded OpenAI a while ago. The main, also another difference is the LLM. If you don't know what a LLM is, it is a large language model. And how I like to explain it, it is like the referential or the dictionary that is actually behind the chatbot. So we have Copilot as a chatbot, ChatGPT as a chatbot, and the dictionary they're using, you know, it's a model that was um, that gathered a lot of information, that was fed a lot of information, and now can transform your natural language into new information. So these two tools, when it first started, were not using the same dictionary, but recently they're now using the same dictionary for the free version. So not really a difference about that, but I just wanted to let you know that they use a dictionary that gets updated uh, on a periodically basis. I don't know how to say that in English, but it gets updated sometimes. Also, what was brand new with Copilot when it first came out is that Microsoft integrated their Microsoft Bing tool into Copilot. And that was a real huge difference between ChatGPT and Copilot. Nowadays, if you pay for ChatGPT, you will be web grounded as well. So ChatGPT also uses Microsoft Bing. So they made a partnership, and you'll be able to search the web with ChatGPT as well, but only for a few messages. After that, you will need to pay for the paid version. So that's a plus for Copilot. It is web-based. You can actually use the chatbot to make some Google search, let's say it like that, but it's a Google search into your Copilot. So that's like the first difference, let's say it like that. Then the main difference, why every businesses and actually a lot of businesses use Copilot on top of ChatGPT. It's really simple. We don't trust AI yet, and it's completely normal. We don't know, like, is it feeding the CIA some information about David Fortin, the accountant from Quebec, or something like that? So companies that are already in the Microsoft environment already all have their stuff on SharePoint, on OneDrive and stuff like that. So of course they trust Microsoft way more, so they might go for Copilot on top of ChatGPT, even though, if you look at the policy, ChatGPT and everything, they say, oh, we're good, blah blah blah. So that's probably one of the big difference that I see. It's the trust to the company that they are according. And then the main difference, number two, which I would say is probably the biggest difference, is that Microsoft Copilot is actually integrated, I should say, in your 365 apps. And then I'm just putting a few there. I put the most common, so Outlook, Word, OneNote, PowerPoint, and Excel. So what it means is that when you open these tools, if you pay for the pro version of Copilot or if you have the business version, then you're going to have a button at the top and your Copilot will be integrated. You won't have to go to the website because at heart, the Copilot is a website, copilot.microsoft.com. It is a website. Just to let you know, a Copilot for Microsoft is anything that has AI integrated. So you have Copilot for Power BI, you have Copilot for Whiteboard, you have Copilot for Loop, you have Copilot for a lot of things, Copilot for Finance. So just today we're talking about Microsoft Copilot, which is this symbol here, but you will hear Copilot very often in the upcoming years. Feel free if you have any question in the chat. I'm talking and I'm talking fast. I'm going to have a sip of water.
And
All
another
right.
one that
Yep.
I see people excited about is on Teams. So to get
Oh yeah.
Copilot
Yeah, I forgot it. That's true.
to
That's
help
true.
summarize
Yeah.
meetings and things like that.
Uh-huh. You're absolutely right. Microsoft Copilot in Teams looks really amazing to summarize your meetings and the missed discussion that you might have not seen during your vacation, right? So one huge difference where I see as well Copilot getting away from ChatGPT is uh, this square right here, right? The Microsoft graph. So this screenshot right here looks really complicated. It is actually when you ask a question to the chatbot, it is all the road that it's driving, to come back with an answer. But I want to actually put your attention here on the Microsoft graph. So how I love to explain this is that Microsoft Copilot is actually a little Google into your Microsoft environment. So if you want to make some search throughout your emails, through your files, through your meetings, through your calendars, event that you have in your Outlook, this is where everything comes together. You ask a question, it gets in here, it goes through this road here, goes into the Bing, and then boom, goes into your Microsoft Graph. It has a look to all your files and everything, and then boom, goes back through the Copilot, and then hits the LLM, the dictionary I told you earlier, and then it's going to come back with an answer, and all of that in like few seconds, right? Which is crazy. I think this is crazy. And again, I don't want to get too technical here. That's not the goal. It's just for you to understand the main difference versus ChatGPT, right? Okay, so lately I was really surprised, and these things, guys, I swear they're changing every day. You wake up in the morning and boom, there's a new update that popped. It's crazy. Like, so I wanted just to do a quick difference between the interface for the business version and the individual versions. I'm sure most of you here have a business license or will get a business license in the next few days. It's kind of rare to use Copilot for your personal stuff, but you could use it. So I just wanted to show you the different interface. So this is the interface where we're going to go very soon because I'll show you a quick demo, but this is what Copilots look like. It's basically just like, let's say, a Teams interface where you can ask a question at the bottom and where you can see here, get calendar info, prepare for that meeting. You know, it's basically kind of simple. So it's your mini Google internally, and you can switch between work, where it searches the Microsoft Graph I was talking about, like your documents from SharePoint, your emails, etc., and the web version. When you click on that, then you have access to the web. You know, they're not mixing the things for security purposes. All right, so this is the business version. If you open copilot.microsoft.com and you log in with a normal outlook.com email address or Microsoft account, I should say, you will have something that looks like that. Okay, so this is when I open my Copilot on my laptop when doing this presentation today. I was building it this afternoon and I got this streamlined, speedy, new. And when I opened it on my computer that is in my living room here, I got this interface. So this is the brand new interface to the right that is coming up. It's really similar. You can ask a message at the bottom. They just added a few images. They removed the conversation styles and a few things, but basically it's still a chatbot. I just wanted to let you know because I don't want you to go to copilot.microsoft.com and be really confused and be like, who's this guy, David Fortin? What is he talking about? I don't have the same thing as him. So these are the three options that you can have when you open copilot.microsoft.com. These two that you see here, and this one that I was showing previously. All right, feel free to ask any question in the chat. I'm available. All right, so that was section 1. Let's get to section 2. So I want to show you how to get the best results with Copilot because I have seen many people using the tool wrong, and it's completely normal because it's brand new. And even though Excel is like, I don't know, 40 years old, 20 years old, yeah, it's 85. It's people still using it the wrong way, so that's perfect. But let's try to learn a little bit. So here we are. I'm going to show you a little quick how to do a prompt. So it's going to be super simple. So I'm going to go in copilot.microsoft.com, and you can do it at the same time as me if you want. So I'm just going to open Google Chrome. And quick tip for you guys, I have put Copilot as my main landing page. Because when I open my Google Chrome, then I just think about it, you know? So I will just ask Copilot. So I have the interface here that I showed you. I'm going to make sure that I'm in the web version here. So if you have a business license, you're going to see like me the work and the web. So I'm basically going to click here and just ask a question to Copilot. And I will ask, could you tell me the 10 best Excel functions? Right, this is an Excel meeting and we all love Excel. And I'm just going to click submit and I'm going to take some time here so you guys follow accordingly. And look at that. Don't blink actually, because it's going to pop really fast here. And then Copilot, boom. Okay, so that's the beauty of AI, right? And then for the rest of this presentation, I will go back to PowerPoint because doing a live presentation with AI is really tough because the results are changing. You might have wrote this, the same thing as me, and I've gotten completely 10 different Excel functions. And this is because AI, because every time we prompt, we are giving information to the model, and depending of what information it receives, the response we might get will change. You know, that's how it works. So this is AI. So I'm going to go back to my Excel, my PowerPoint, sorry, and I'm going to show you real quick why this was a bad prompt, okay? And maybe you don't know yet, but that was a bad prompt. So as you can see here, I just gave Copilot and I said, can you give me the best 10 Excel functions and formulas? And he gave me a few functions, right? But being an accountant, I know Excel pretty well. So I don't need to know about sum. I know the average, I know if, I know VLOOKUP, I know a lot of them, right? And so that was not really useful for me. But to be fair though, I didn't give much context to Copilot, right? He doesn't know who I am, he doesn't know where I live, he doesn't know that I do Excel presentations with Copilot, he doesn't know anything about me. So this is why we need to help him help us, let's say it like that. And there's a lot of courses on the topic about prompt engineering. So just as a reminder, what I wrote here is a prompt, okay? So that's a question that we ask the AI. But this question was really bad because I didn't give him any context. So I'm going to show you what will be a great prompt or a better prompt. I don't want to get too deep. I have a full course on the topic, but I want to show you a little bit, get you a little bit of knowledge how you should prompt. So this is a prompt I did here. I said to Copilot, could you give me the best 10 Excel functions and formulas for an accountant? First thing first, I gave the chatbot or the AI that I was an accountant. So it helps him in his little dictionary, as I said, go to the dictionary page of accountants and have a look in there. I told him that I work in a video games company and that I am a junior accountant and I am a beginner to intermediate in Excel. So I gave him my Excel level so he can actually know that, actually, it's really hard to say I'm a beginner in Excel or expert in Excel, but with saying this to him, he will probably not give me a sum because sum is really beginner, right? And then I told him even more information. I told him that most of my tasks are to reconcile data, merge lists together, perform budget versus actuals analysis, make forecasts, and also analyze financial statements. I could have given way more to Copilot. Okay, this is just an example. I could have done a prompt with like four more sentences to give him even more context to help me get the best results, right? And I've hidden the results here, but let me show you real quick. So these are the answers I received versus the previous prompt. So basically, I wanted to highlight the difference that I had. The first function and formula was not there. It's SUMIFs, right? I don't know if you know SUMIFs, but it wasn't there on the first prompt because my prompt wasn't really great. And then what I like is that Copilot merged the index match formula as well, and it added it there, which was not on the previous slide as well. And then the thing that I preferred the most is that it gave me the pivot tables, and it also gave me a few other formulas that maybe are not the best for my case, but I could have told him, hey, give me 10 more, right? Or I could have told him, I really need to reconcile data right now. Which of these functions will have you use? So it's a chatbot. So just like you talk to someone, it's a conversation, right? So just keep that in mind. I just wanted to show this quick example. And as I said, if you ask those questions to the chatbot right now, you will get completely different results. And that's the beauty of things. All right. Feel free if you have any question.
David, could you just zoom in just a bit for the next few slides? If you're, yeah, thank you.
Zoom in. Can I do that with PowerPoint? I don't think so.
Oh, I don't know.
I could. Is it
It
too
must be
small?
my eyes.
Is it good on your side, Celia, or yeah? Okay.
Yes,
Okay,
it's
so
good.
it's my eyes.
If anyone wants to maximize the view under more, if I'm not, there's a, let's see. I'll find it and I'll put it in the chat.
Okay.
There's a setting where people can maximize the screen space. So for example, remove the video tiles and just make it bigger. I'll see if I
Yeah.
can find it. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
All right, section two. I don't know why my bar here at the bottom appeared. Let me try to reshare. It's still there for some reason. Okay, so section two is we're gonna get into Copilot. So I just wanted to let you know that you don't need to pay the pro version yet. You have a lot of use cases that you can do with just a chatbot, as we just saw. Okay. So the first use case I want to show you is actually, it's a friend of mine that is a CPA. He called me and he was like, hey, could you help us doing some Excel stuff? And I didn't have the solution. I had a great idea of the solution. And my first reflex was actually, I talked to, I don't know if you know him, Andrew Moss. I wrote to him. He's the guy for the Global Excel Summit, which I'm speaking in London in February, by the way. But my first reflex was to talk to him. And I was like, and he was not answering because, time zone and everything. And I was like, let me just ask Copilot and let's see if I can solve my friend's problem. And this is a real use case, guys. I'm not making this up. This is a real use case. Thank you, Celia. Celia put in the chat here. So view button, focus on content, so you will see my screen bigger. So let me introduce you the use case here. So what I wanted to do is in the cell H2, I wanted to have a drop-down menu. Let me show you here. I want to have a drop-down menu that when I switch it, it will just do a kind of sum ifs, right? And I didn't want my friend to actually have to drag the formulas of, or if he added months or categories, you see in the column A, there are some categories, the mappings. It was accounting mappings. Of course, it was not cat and dogs. I changed them because it was confidential. But what he wanted to show his boss is like, okay, how much do we perform in May versus how much do we perform in June? And then he could add, another column and just do those kind of comparison, right? So I had a rough idea of what the solution could be, but like I don't use sum ifs mixed with index match every day. And I was like, oh my God, I'm not too sure like actually how I'm going to do that. So I went to the chatbot, and this is not actually for you to remember that, oh, we can do sum ifs and index match with Copilot. That's not the goal. It's to let you know again how to prompt the tool to get your results, right? So again, at the top you have the Excel, which is a real use case, as I said, and I probably did one of my worst prompt here, but it still worked. So here you go. So I'm gonna read it with you. So I said, hi, you don't need to be polite, but I'm really thinking Big Brother, they're watching us. So hi, I want to have a summary of my data. The main goal is to change a single date, and it gives me the right sum of the column that this date is located. Okay, so I gave him some context here, and I said my data is as follow. In column A, I have my mappings. For now, my mappings are cat and dogs, and they have multiple occurrences, which means I can't use the index and match function because it will give me back only one value. So here I'm giving as much context as I can, and I have to be honest with you, I knew a little bit where I was going, but I didn't know the solution. I know this will not work, but mixed with some other functions that are existing, it could work. And I just tried it, and then I kept going. In column B, C, and D, I have my dates. The main goal is to change one date in cell H2, which is the orange cell, and it is going to give me back the sums of the values. It's probably the worst English you can ever type, but it still worked. My dates, columns B, C, and D, as I told you, more specifically, my headers are starting in B3 to D3. So I just gave the chatbot everything like where my cells were with like the most amount of details I could. So be specific. I think this is the key takeaway that I can tell you. And then we keep going, right? So here, Excel to the left, and then this is the answer of Copilot. Based on your description, it sounds like you want to sum the values, blah, blah, blah. And then it just, until here, it just summarized the same thing I did. Like the same thing I told it, it just summarized it. And it said instead you can use the SUMIFs function in Excel, which allows you to sum the values based on multiple criterias. And then it just gave me a SUMIFs. But if you know Excel a little bit, if I go like that, every time that I will add a new month or a new category, I will have to add a new formula. And I wanted my friend to just drag and drop because as you can see here, Excel does before to B colon, C colon, D colon. And then if I add the month of July to the right of the column D, I will have to go change the formula and I won't just be able to drag it, right? So that was an issue that I had. And then it kept going, blah, blah, blah. And if I see on the next slide, um, I just kept giving feedback to the chat to Copilot, right? This is really important. This is another takeaway. Give feedback to the chatbot. It is a conversation, as I said. So I said to Copilot, I would love to have only one function that will use both SUMIFs and index match and change which sum it gives me based on the date located in cell G2. Read here H2. And then Copilot gave me this answer. Sure, you can achieve this by using a combination of index match and SUMIFs. Here's how you can do it. And then I kept going because I think, if I remember well, it was not working quite well. And this is, I think we have one part missing of my interaction with AI right now, but it actually gave me this formula, which was actually working. And if we keep reading, the chatbot told me to change some things, like, hey, you should change this by that. And I just copy pasted it. I have Excel knowledge, of course. I swapped a few things in the formula and it was working like a charm. So I was really and I tell you, like, this is maybe 3 months ago or something like that. And it was the first time that AI really flabbergasted me. Like, except asking for, like, could you give me a recipe to eat a great dinner tonight? Like, I really want to eat banana bread and stuff like that. This is like the first use case that I saw, and it gave me something really amazing with just a few changes. And I have this full video, by the way, on my YouTube channel if you want to see the whole thing. I think it's like 10 minutes. So this is my face after after being flabbergasted by the AI. Use case number two, this is really, really simple. It just happened to me this week. I knew we could auto refresh pivot tables. I knew there was a way to do VBA. I didn't want to do it with VBA. So I just asked, because I have a client, and when I do clients, the thing I don't want, especially when they're not that great with Excel, is put VBA all over their workbook, and then they call me because it's broken. So I don't want clients to call me. I want clients to get a working workbook. So I use ChatGPT to the left. I use both, by the way, to be honest with you. I use Chat and Copilot, and I asked. Literally, I am working for a client in Microsoft Excel. I want that the pivot table auto refreshes because it will be an additional step for the client, and I don't want that. How do I do? ChatGPT gave me two options. This one here, which you need to close the file and reopen it, which is not perfect, but still. And then a second method. And when I did it with Copilot, it only gave me one option, but I could have kept prompting and asking, hey, I know there's another option. Do you have any other option? I don't want to use VPA. And it will have told me, right? So it's not really an Excel use case, but you can ask question about Excel and save yourself hundreds of Google search or calling Celia and saying, hey, can you help me with Excel? Because she bills a lot. She charges a lot. All right. Feel free to ask any question once again. All right. So this
There's
is
no
the
questions, I don't think. Yeah,
no
thank you.
question. Good. So this is and I don't like my bar here. Can I hide it? Oh, there we go. No. Anyways, okay. So section 4 already. I'm talking fast. It's 7:20. It's all good. So Copilot in Excel. So this is the part where we're gonna talk about Copilot in Excel, but the Pro version. So I'm going to show you what we can do with it. I released a few videos lately on the topic. It's getting better and better, by the way. If you just used it when it first released, it was not that great. It was like limited to a few cells. Now I've done stuff with like many, many, many cells, and before it was not even doing XLOOKUP or VLOOKUP. Now it does. So they're really updating it, and they're going silent about it. Like, there's no like notes about the releases. They're just updating it. So give it a chance. It's brand new. I will not advise using it if you're like expert in Excel, but It is a co-pilot, so it's there to assist you. It's not your VP of strategy, as I like to say, but yeah. All right, so here we go. So this is the Piggy Beans Cafe. So this is an example that I crafted for most of my videos. So I'm just going to introduce the Piggy Beans Cafe real quick, which is a cafe here in Quebec City. Actually, it doesn't exist for real, but yeah. So basically, this is the introduction to the use case. And this is the data set of the Piggy Beans Cafe. So basically, I will go really, really quick about that, but we have some sales data here. If you've seen some of my video, you probably have saw this data set here. So we have the dates of the sales in the column A. We have the product that we sold in column B. We have the sales amount, and then we have different information, which is the region, the salesperson, and the department. So just typical sales data that you will get from an ERP or whatever, right? And I wanted to highlight here that we have more than 2,000 lines here, or row, I should say. So Copilot works on more than 2,000 rows, and it can be more than that, okay? So this is the first tab here, the first sheet, the coffee shop sales data. And just to note that my data set has to be as a table. Microsoft said that they don't need to be as a table anymore, but I will advise that you keep using tables because it works way better with tables still, okay? So if you don't know how to transform your data in a table, select your data, hit Control T, like table on your keyboard. It's going to ask you, does your data has header? You check yes, and then it's going to become a table. And the goal with this and what I want to show you was actually to, you see here we have the employee ID and we have two columns. We have the employee and we have the employee ID, and it is in a different sheet, okay? And if I come back, we have the employee here, the salesperson, and I wanted to put the employee ID in this same data set here. So I wanted to merge the list together so we could do it manually, but we have 2,000 lines. So if you never heard of something called XLOOKUP and VLOOKUP, this is where Copilot comes into play because you don't even need to know that these exist. You just need to ask to do it, right? So this is the thing here. We have our table that is called table 2, and this is the employee IDs. So on the next slide here, oh, I have the goal, bring over the employee ID from this table to the coffee shop sales data sheet. Basically, super simple. And this is something, by the way, that I do every day for clients. If you mastered this in Excel, then you can get a six figures job, pretty sure. Just kidding, but not kidding. All right, so now we have a Copilot here in Excel. So when you pay for Copilot Pro or when you have Copilot the business license, you will have a button that will pop at the top of your Copilot in Excel here. And when you click on it, you will have a pane that opens to the right here. On my screenshot here, it still says preview mode, which is not the case anymore. This screenshot is probably from 2 months ago or 1 month ago. And now Copilot in Excel is generally available. So it means the feature is now released for real, right? And then I will ask you to look here at my prompt. So I just asked Copilot, create a column with the employee ID. The employee ID is located in the tab Employee ID in Table 2. And in a matter of seconds, Copilot came up with this result here. It said, looking at my data range, here's one formula column to review and insert in column J. And what I love to say, everyone, is like, here is one formula column to review, okay? Copilot is not perfect. AI makes mistake, so make sure before you insert it or after you insert it that you have a quick look and make sure that your formula is actually great. So Copilot gives me this formula here. You can click on show explanation and it's going to give you the explanation, and boom, it brought my employee ID over and it was working perfectly fine, and I used it many times and it worked every time. So it's pretty good to merge lists, okay? So that's one use case that you can use with Copilot in Excel with the Pro version. Another thing that is pretty cool, it's the feature that is called Add All Insights to Grid. This is getting better with time as well. So basically what Copilot does, it's a pre-built prompt, so you can click on a button. We don't see it here, but like there will be a little button on your table here, and you'll just click on Add All Insights to Grid, and it's going to build you 6 charts. I don't know why it's always 6. It's not 9, it's not 12, it's 6, and it's going to pick random information that it thinks it's great to show you. And to be honest with you, it's probably half of the charts that it gives you that are great, and some are not too great. But what I love though is that it builds this kind of dashboard, so like it saves a lot of time because then you can just play with it and change it. Gives a great draft, let's say it like that. And at the bottom here, we don't really see it, but we have all the pivot tables that are related to these charts. They are actually pivot charts, so they are linked with your data. So you just one click, it does 6 charts, 6 pivot tables, and then you can go at the bottom and change your data. If that's not the sales amount by employee ID that you want, but it's the sales amount by employee name, you just go, you click on this, it's going to pop the pivot tables field, and you just switch them in a matter of seconds. So it just saves time. It is your Copilot. Other use cases, I mean, there are a lot of use cases, and I could not go through all of them during this 1 hour call, of course, but this is an example that I took, or that I did, sorry, a few weeks ago with the help of Grania, by the way, thank you so much. And this is the text functions for Copilot. So I actually tried this one, and what I wanted to do is actually split my phone number. Okay, you'll tell me, when will you want to split the phone number? Maybe you will want the country or the regional area code or something. So here we are, we have the phone number in a column, and I literally just asked Copilot, could you create a column with the regional area code of each phone number? It corresponds to the 3 numbers to the left of column phone number. Again, being really specific, like you will just talk to a kid, by instance, or to someone to give him like really specific instructions. And even though I didn't, like I personally did know this left function, but Copilot, he knew that in his directory, let's say it like that, it had one function that is called equal left that will actually give us what we want. So it actually put the equal left formula. It took the phone number column, which is as a table, and so it gives me this. And then the number 3 here means that we want 3 digits or 3 figures. And then it gave me uh, this preview here, and I could just click on insert column, and then boom, the result is that when I click on insert column, it just split it. I have again a video that is 45 seconds long that is showing, these are screenshots from the video actually, and I actually tried to split the middle of the phone number and the right of the phone number as well in different columns, and Copilot came up with the text before and text after formula. I thought it will come with mid B and like right formula, but it did something different, but it was still working pretty well. So this is a cool use case. I think we just need to know that it can do it, right? So yeah. Another use case that was pretty cool, I think, because it was a little bit more complicated. It was a Copilot in Excel to do functions, and let me show you. So here is the prompt I used. So you remember in my data set, we had the region and we had the sales amount. So I wanted to do a column because, my boss asked me, hey, Dave, can you spot the regions or the salesperson that have more than XYZ amount of sales? So I was like, sure, I'm gonna ask Copilot, right? So I said to Copilot, I need a column with a formula that enters downtown over 500. So I put those brackets here for sales over 500 if the region is downtown, and uptown over 800 if the sales in region uptown are over 800. So I don't have any experience with Excel. I don't know what is the if formula. I don't know how to do that. I could look on Google. I could call my best colleagues, right? There's always one guy or one girl in the whole company being the customer success of Excel. You know what I mean? So maybe not anymore, or maybe less questions. So this is what Copilot came up with. It came with a if and an and formula, just like that, and it actually worked perfectly well. So when we had the downtown region over 500, it indicated in a new column downtown over 500. And if it was uptown, then it gave us that. So that was pretty cool. We can then filter on the column with these buttons here and actually make our data analysis way easier. All right, so this is the last section. I'm going to show you real quick how to build a budget presentation with Copilot in literally 5 minutes. And now I'm doing a live AI demo. So please pray the AI lords that they're going to be on my side today, because sometimes it just says, oh, Copilot is not working today. This is something that happens just like every tool. And so yeah, the use case I'm going to do, the use case I'm going to do is build a budget presentation with Copilot from A to Z. All right, so I'm going to go here real quick in Copilot, and I'm going to do, this is my conversation that we had before, right? I'm going to do a new chat, and I'm going to actually copy paste the prompt that I prepared because I didn't want to waste your time. And this is really simple. You'll see. Okay, so I'm going to read it real quick. I said, I need your help to create an outline for a budget presentation that I can use to generate a PowerPoint. I want to use the Word outline feature to then import it into PowerPoint and create slides. We are a construction company, and I would like if you could put some placeholder numbers for us to replace it with our own numbers eventually. Okay, Aurora, I will get back to you after that. Title slide. Include place. So basically, I gave Copilot every slide that I wanted him to actually come up with, right? So I'm going to send this prompt in, and it's going to come up with an outline like that, right? So this is actually building an outline of a presentation. And then, there's not a lot of information in here, but I could tell Copilot, could you break down the action plan into multiple steps, blah, blah, blah. For this presentation, I'm just going to take it as is. So I'm just going to copy this outline here. Copy, going to open Word. Oh, we have something in my Word document here. Sorry, I'm lost. Okay, here we go. I didn't want that. This is actually my save, save. Okay, edit anyway. All right. So I'm going to have a blank Word document. Sorry for that. And I'm going to go in the bar at the top, and I'm going to look for outline feature. Outline view. And I'm going to copy paste my data here. So this is all copy pasted data from Copilot, right? And what we want to do here is actually just put, the title slide level 1, and then anything that is underlying, we want to put in level 2. Level 2, and if we will have like extra details by instance, then this will be level 3, and then we will have something else, details 22222, and then I'm going to do this for everything. I won't do it at all here. I'm just going to do something real quick. You can do multiple selections. I'm going to put all of this in level 2, and I have a full video explaining all of that on my YouTube channel, so you can pause and you can do 0.5x on the time. So I'm just cleaning a little bit of my data, and I'm going to remove all of that because I want to make it quick. So now I have a few levels of my stuff, right? And I'm just going to save this Word document on my computer. And I'm going to call it I Love Toronto Meetups. There we go. Going to close it because I always forget to do that. And then I'm going to open a PowerPoint. Boom. And then I'm going to do a new one. Blank. This is a feature I learned. Where is it? Oh, there you go. Okay, I don't know why it put this weird template, but anyway, let's do it like that. I'm going to go insert here, and then I'm going to do new slide. It might be small on your screen. I'm really sorry for that. New slide, and then slides from outline, right? This is a PowerPoint feature, slides from outline. Then I'm going to go on my desktop, and I called it I Love Toronto Meetups. Then it's going to import it. And here we go. So we have a whole PowerPoint that was created. And it's not that great, but let me show you something else. We go in design, and then we go on the designer feature at the top right, and then we're just going to do it like that. This is the title slide. This is the agenda. There we go. This is the introduction. So pretty cool, right? In like I don't know what, 4 minutes, I had a slide. Of course, there's no information here, but we can then fill it in like placeholder and everything. So I think this is pretty cool feature. All of this was done with Copilot. And you know what? Let's go the extra mile. Let's go the extra mile because I like it. I will be, could you create an image that will represent a financial statement presentations. I want a lot of money on this image and make the background an office. Okay, I'm going completely random and I'm trying because Copilot can also generate images with Dall-E, which is powered by OpenAI. And then we're gonna make a really cool presentation. I'm going the extra mile for you guys here. All right, so this is using the designer tool, and hopefully it's gonna work. Pray the AI lords once again. All right, here we go. So not bad, I think. I'm gonna use this one, and I'm going to download it, and I'm gonna put it here. Boom. Going to integrate it in my PowerPoint, and here we go. Now we have a beautiful PowerPoint, except the background that is a little bit messed up, but this is kind of crazy. Like I really do think this is game changing. Like anyways, all right, so that was it. um so all right, so guys, I have something to offer you. Of course, you know how the webinars work. If you attended this webinar, we have a 50% discount for everyone that is on the call right now. It will expire in a few days. I'm going to put the link in the chat here. Oh, thank you. Grania beat me to it. So this is for all of my courses, by the way, not only my Copilot Essentials course. I have a few Excel courses, one on the charts, one on XLOOKUP, VLOOKUP, and this is the price that I'm offering you today for the lifetime access to my course. And what is my course? Actually, I'm going to explain a little bit better what is Microsoft Copilot. I'm going to compare if you should whether use the pro version of the or the free version. I'm giving you a few Copilot housekeeping rules, right? Because we don't have the reflex to use this tool yet. It's brand new. I'm going to show you how to prompt. We had a quick overview of like how to do it, but I'm going the next level in this course. I'm going to talk about the Copilot do's and don'ts, how to use Copilot to do research, so bye-bye Google, how to draft professional emails, important or prepare for important meetings with Copilot, how to generate images like we just did, but a little bit more in depth, how to use Copilot to summarize videos, because yes, there are a lot of features with Copilot, how to summarize a PDF, how to use Copilot on your cell phone, because yes, there is an app. And other than that, there is, of course, all of the tutorial for all of the features available in all of the 365 apps that are your best friends. So Teams, PowerPoint, Excel, Word, OneNote, and of course, the resource guide if you prefer to learn with PDFs. I have quite some PDFs that are integrated in this course as well. So hopefully you enjoyed this course. And by the way, this is for professionals that are currently beginners with AI and want to become proficient with AI. And I have a 14 days guarantee. You don't like the course, it was not your expectation, you send me an email, I refund you, no question asked. I'm so confident in my course quality. All I make is quality, so I'm sure you won't want a refund. And if you want one for any reason, then feel free to ask. All right, if you need it for your whole team, let me know. We can arrange some kind of rebate, discount, bulk discount, or anything. So yes, that's it. Q&A. Do you have any question for me?
Thank you so
Aurora
much,
had one.
David.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. There's one. Yes, please.
Yes. So Aurora was asking, do you disclose to your clients that you use AI or Copilot? And what is their reaction, positive or negative?
Yeah, Aurora. So by the way, thank you so much. I saw that you wrote a comment just when we were starting. You told me good job for my marathon. So thank you. I need to be seated right now because my legs are still really sore. But this is a really great question because when I use Copilot for clients, and I do use it, but I never put confidential information into it. So I did a client recently that is a finance advisor. I'll just say that personal finance advisor, right?
Yeah.
And he sent me like actually his whole client list, with how many RRSP they invested and everything. So of course I didn't put the Excel file into a ChatGPT or Copilot, right? I mean, Copilot is there, and I didn't use it, but it's there on my Excel. But it's in the Microsoft environment, so I'm not worried. It's just like putting my file into SharePoint. So I will say that my clients know that I'm doing Copilot stuff. Of course, it's all over my YouTube, all over my LinkedIn. So their reaction is pretty good. Actually, their reaction is most of the time is like, "How did you do that? Can you show me?" That's most of the time is their reaction. So yeah, right now, but it's the confidentiality issue is one that I get asked really often, and my question is always the same. You see, like when I had this example of cats and dogs, I just changed the whole thing to be like a completely fake data, let's say it like that, but try to reproduce the same context, and that's how I do it. Like I remove anything confidential, basically. So yeah.
Yeah, that's a great question. Myself, I find myself still forgetting about it. It's getting better. I noticed that I remember more often now that I could save some time instead of doing all the search and all the tweaks by myself. It can be faster. What part of it is because at the beginning it was not so fast. It was not as good as it's becoming
Hmm.
now.
Yeah.
So I would find myself going back and forth, I don't know how many times, and explaining, and so, oh, I'll do it. I don't want to
Hmm.
be. So I guess it's yeah, we get to used to it anyways, because whoever is using it is being more productive. If of course they, for example, for coding and things like that, and even for Excel formulas, people need to be able to judge and to
Yeah.
assess if the results are exactly what they need,
Yeah.
because otherwise it's
Yeah, I had a really long formula to do this week, which I didn't do for quite a while, which was good. It was like nested if X lookup, like really complicated, and I didn't use Copilot for this one because it was really like I could not really explain like, hey, if this then that, then do X lookup, then if there is an error, then do another X lookup. That would have been a little bit too complicated for it, so I just needed to think about it. So for the people asking themselves like, will it replace my job? Well, I don't think so. Maybe like really entry level job. Eventually, we're going to automate everything. What I love to say is like, like when they brought those self-service cashier at the grocery store, like it's part of the of life, of course. But I think you should embrace AI. And I know some people are. And when I give trainings, I give a lot of trainings on Copilot and ChatGPT in person. And sometimes people are like, "Oh my God, I'm so stressed." Like before the meeting starts, and then the training ends, and they're like, "Thank you so much." Like it's not complicated in the end, and we're gonna have to embrace it. So if you were stressed or worried before joining in, I hope you are a little bit less worried now.
I was preparing for a meeting call, and I had a couple of questions about a few topics, and I tried Copilot on my cell phone yesterday for the first time,
Mm,
and I was amazed how quickly it just. So we are used that, at least I'm used to that. When I ask something on Google, it takes like a few seconds or a
yeah.
fraction. It was so fast. How it would just kind of, it's like copy pasting. It's not even generating. It would just spit out a full list of items and things that I was asking about. I was very impressed with the how quick it was and how good it was to give me a baseline to start my thinking process. So it
Yeah.
was really helpful.
That's how I see it as well. Like it starts you off with a great draft and there's no more like blank page for any topic. Like you never did marketing, then you ask, how do I get started with marketing? And then you enjoy the ride, right?
I like
Yeah,
that it very often tells you where it found the information. So it gives you the actual link to say, if you say, what are my options? It'll say, here are 6 websites I went to that found these options for you.
hmm
So then you get to go right to the source to find out whether the source was any good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it helps you evaluate the answer better than say Google, because
yeah,
Mhm.
it's good. For me, it's important to know the sources, to know where it's coming from. Definitely. I like that too
yeah.
as well. And sometimes we can go there to find more details. What I'm sharing here on my screen, David, you were saying before about Copilot in Excel being releasing new stuff all the time and
hmm
being silent. But if we come here to this, I'm going to put the link there on the chat. If you come here to this page where you see it's the Excel blog, where we can see the news. For example, every month they put a blog, what's new in Excel, where they explain the new features that were implemented or improved over the past month. They are also putting every week a post on Copilot in Excel only. So we can see by the dates, every 7 days, they put in a blog post with a few um, new
Oh,
features or new capabilities that
No,
Copilot has.
that's great. I was wrong then. I'm sorry for that,
No,
everyone.
it's
That's
just
good.
something relatively new and people are not aware. So you
Yeah,
reminded me, oh, I could share that.
that's
I haven't
good.
shared. I had not shared that before, but yeah. So people interested in knowing what is happening in Copilot in Excel, they can come here. I'm not sure if there is similar posts for other apps, but for Excel, this one here is a source that you can use. And like you said, it is evolving pretty fast.
Yeah.
And so before, for example, as you mentioned, we needed to have Excel tables. Now it recognizes an
hmm
Excel a table-like um,
Yeah.
data set. It doesn't have to be an official Excel table and it can still work with it. I remember in the beginning you mentioned the formulas that it came up with text before and text
Yeah.
after. At the very beginning, it would not give you
Yeah,
that
no,
type of
no. It's
results.
really
It would
it's getting
just
really
use the
better. Yeah.
very old, the very traditional and Excel functions. And now it recognizes more of the modern Excel functions as well and uses them in the replies that it gives us. So yeah, that's a resource that people can use.
David, have you run into the issue that I saw a YouTube video by Bill Jelen, I believe it was, saying that Copilot was lying to him because it told him that it couldn't do something and then went ahead and did it. I said, I can't do that. And then it generated the
This
answer.
this is
And
the
it was in Copilot in Excel. Um,
Yeah, this is the beauty of AI. I actually had, because I was making my presentation today and I need to update it, and I paid the paid version of ChatGPT, and I wanted to know the free version on which model it was, on which LLM, and I asked ChatGPT, which LLM are you? And he was lying to me. He was like, I'm LLM GPT-4, but I knew it was GPT-4o. So it happens with AI, of course. So that's why you need to not trust every time. Sometimes they're, especially when you ask questions about them, they seem like so, like it's just like you will ask me what's my name, and I would like to you. Like that's kind of weird. I don't know why.
It's because it's not a person. It's just
Yeah,
based on probability and then
yeah, I guess.
yeah. So
hmm
yeah, it seems very real because of how powerful the engines are behind the scenes, but in the end, it's just probability and
hmm
yeah, and a program running. There's not a real, it seems more intelligent than human in some aspects because it's very fast processing things. But it keeps, if you continue a conversation, sometimes it contradicts itself.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, you need if your conversation is too long, I forgot to say that, but like click on the new chat and then start over. Because as long as you go, the more complicated it gets and the more confused it gets as well.
yeah.
Mhm.
So you need to use it with caution, I guess.
Yeah, that's yeah, the takeaway.
Yes.
So, David, when you did the PowerPoint, you didn't get images automatically. I used it the other day using your technique because I had watched your video with the outline. Um, and there's a button on the bottom that says, export to Excel as an outline or whatever it was called. And then I did. And when I brought that into PowerPoint, it automatically put a bunch of images in that match my thing. So is
Really?
that really new? I didn't tell it what images because I hadn't a clue. I just put some random topic in just to test
I
whether
could
it
not
would work.
say. I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure what you mean here, but we can maybe chat offline about
Yeah,
it.
it was yeah, it created all the images in the PowerPoint and there was
Oh
images on
yeah,
every
create a
page.
file from, like a presentation from. Yeah, but that's a
Yeah,
paid
but I did it
feature.
from the outline.
Yeah, but that's
I
a paid
believe it was the
feature. That's
outline one.
why. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was amazing that it found all the images. I didn't have to find a single one.
Yeah.
And
I
they were
wanted to
pretty
show the
good.
free version of Copilot, that's why. But yeah, if you use the paid version, it puts the images automatically.
Yeah, I think I was probably using the paid version at that point,
Yeah,
but
it's create a presentation from file, so from a Word
yeah,
document. Yeah.
probably, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was testing a whole bunch of different ways to, following your course. So I was going through saying, what can I do? Oh, I can do that. Oh, look at that. So yeah, you trip over some really cool stuff
Yeah.
and some really cool errors too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, caution at all times.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. I think we don't have any more questions. Thank you everyone for having joined us today. There's the once again, the links where you can connect with David online and find his contents. And I also, again, will be sending an email in a couple of days, probably over the weekend or so, with all the information shared here today. And feel free to get back to the video recording. And I hope you found the session useful. I did find it useful. I learned a couple of things. Thank you so
Nice.
much, David, today for coming today and yeah, for putting in a beautiful presentation and a valuable presentation for us. If
Thank
there
you for
Thank you
are
very
having
not,
much,
me.
David.
Thank you.
Yeah.
if there aren't any more questions, I don't think so.
And I
We
hope your
can
feet are
stop the
feeling better.
recording.
All
I'm going
right.
to
Thank you,
stop the
everyone.
recording
Yeah.
and we can say goodbye. Thank you,
Bye
everyone.
bye.
Great
Thank you.
session,
Bye.
David. Thanks.